day. Salute, salute, salute. Peace and power. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power to the people of the struggle. Salute as you come on in. Know that this is a safe space. Know that this is a space of learning and getting learned up. Know that this is a space of educating and being educated. Know that this is a space of love. This is your space. This is a space for questions, answers, comments, concerns, dialogue, building and destroying. This is a space for upliftment. A space of integrity. Yes, this is your space. This is a space where we seek a united path towards true liberation. As my classroom assistants come on in, please keep all contact information in the chat for the duration of class. Please keep all funding information, funding tags, links, green screens, whatever you want to call it, PayPal, Super Chat. Keep all that information in the chat for the duration of class. Fund this war effort. We are at war. And ain't nobody else giving us nothing, so we need to support ourselves as much as possible. Yeah. Yeah. If you or anybody you know is in need of anger management, book an assessment. Figure out your triggers. Learn how to make a documentation of what moves you. Learn your emotions, all of them, so you can balance yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Book an assessment. If people don't want to be around you, if you running around in the streets and people are scared of you, if you running around kicking cans and shit, roughing up bottle collectors and all that. Corey Grant, salute for funding the war effort. If you know you got an anger issue, book an assessment. Let's work this out. If you or anyone you know is in need of a domestic violence intervention, an intimate relationship abuse consultation, book an assessment. Learn the warning signs. Find out the behaviors that should alarm you. Be aware of circumstances of people. Remember, the life you save could be your own. Book these assessments. Get this in. Get this help. I'm telling you, a balanced soldier is a successful soldier. Come on in, y'all. Oh, yeah. Come on in, come on in. Usually my delay is sending out each DM by hand, Messenger on Facebook, Twitter, all this stuff on my own, trying to build the class. So I'm sending all this out because the notifications don't go out like that. But this time, the delay is a tree branch just fell off, broke off or whatever, on my landlord's car, right on top, boom. And I'm trying to contact him, getting no response. Any other time, I get a response. Now that they got this branch all on the hood of their car, I don't know. I tried it all. But I had to start class. I got to go. And listen, and that happened right as I was sending the invites out. Yeah, man. Terrible, terrible thing. Glad it wasn't my car, because I can't afford it. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. And insurance, they be wilding They be wilding out, natural disasters and all that. All of a sudden, you ain't covered because the branch didn't break right there evenly off the tree at a 37-degree angle and all that. I ain't trying to hear that shit. I go get my pistol. Listen, we got to tag everybody today. Tag your granny, grandpa, tag your mama, your daddy, your cousin, and any white folk you may have an acquaintance with. We need to get down with the get down today. Yeah. See, Bliz, I see you in the spotty spot. Tag them white people in your cubicles next to you. Tag your white folks. We got to talk about reparations. Yeah. And why ain't nobody getting none? None. I don't know how many times we got to talk about it, but I'm sick of it. So now I need my people, classmates, maybe a classroom assistant, some of y'all, the young folk who know how to edit, get them little TikToks and just make all that funny AI stuff and all that. Get it. Because we're going to go through the top reasons black folks never get a cash reparation. All right? Put it down. I don't care. I keep telling y'all, I don't own this, man. I'm a vessel of truth. This information is for everyone. Okay? Everyone. You said top 5. Who is them? Nah, I think I got about 6. I think I have about 6 solid. It's very difficult to get 10 without coming off as being conservative or leaning to the side of white folk. But we just talking about it because it needs to be said time and time again. Nadine, we see you. Hold on. Too many of y'all getting in the class. Excuse me. Too many of y'all. Too many of y'all too quick. So tag your classmates and let's see who is here. Yeah, we're going to get this started early. Moo, we see you. What up, Moo? Salute. First in class. Let's talk about it. Podcast is in here. Let me find out. Corey Grant, salute. Much appreciated for funding the war effort. Not playing a game. Soon as you come up in here. Right there. In that. Yeah. Cool K King is in the spot. C Bliz, Sniper. Joey Hustle. And Smoke, the flat leavers in the spotty spot. What up? It's about $1.10 out there where you at, huh? Yeah, it's hot. Keep your grippers warm, man. Sit outside with no drawers on if you got to. It's too hot out there on your end. Who is M. Dot? What's going on? We see you on the spotty spot. Frankie, what up, East New York? Yeah, Ken Williams, A. Wood. God, Stone. Ooh, you made it. I see you. Sweet on kid, too. You got an apple for the... Ooh, yes. Philip Boom. Tierra. Salute, Tierra. You got the white folks. Tierra, bring them to class. You surrounded by them. Yeah, let's get to it. Turner. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, Papa Smurf. 55! No, Papa's 55! Yeah! Bushhead. Mr. Matt. Rick Gatlin. Late Charles. 55! I got you! Yeah! Let's go! Mark Lewis. Blackleaf. Yeah! Don Fuego. What up? What? Carlton? 55! Yeah! Bam! What up, Bam? We see you. Tata. What up? No. You can't call it Carlton. You have faith in white folk? Ooh! You got faith in white folk? Yeah, you gonna learn today. Nadine Rogers, salute. see you, Brixton. I hope you in the pub. I hope you in the pub with a whole bunch of white folk. Put me on the telly and tell them what's going on. Yeah. Zone 864. Max. Yeah. Uh-huh. We see you. Sultan. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Cousin, what's going on? Yeah, y'all up in here. Vitamin Vision. You up in here. We see you. Yes. George Johnson. Yeah. We see you, Murder Gang. Yeah. Ooh, Lady Sparkle in the spotty spot. Sweet on the kid. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Voodoo, what up? 18 Mathis. Salute. 55, 18, yeah. Metal Face. What? Neef. Pop. 55. Yeah. 55 gang is in the spotty spot. Yeah. I see y'all. D Stu, what up? Jewels, what up? Salute, much appreciated for the super chat early. What up, Jeff Sparks? Y'all deep today. What's going on? Y'all must ain't got no work. Y'all must have got fired on y'all day off. CC. I see you, CC 55. Take that. Yeah, Ed. Okay, back on schedule. Ed, we see you. Y'all must have, y'all got fired on y'all day off. 11 minutes. This got to be a record. 11 minutes in already? Let's get to it. I'm telling you, get your editing on. Get it on. And we're going to keep going through the list periodically through class. Top reasons blacks will never receive cash reparation from white folk here or anywhere on this planet. Yeah. Okay. Top reasons. In no specific order. Reason number 1. Right? Check this out. Black folk will never receive cash reparations. Why? Because average white folk don't own anything. Yeah, they don't own nothing. So the ones who hate you the most never is going to want you to have anything. Papa Smurf, salute. Chicago, Southside, Shy's in the building. Much appreciated. Okay? Yeah. Do you hear me? Giving cash to black folk would automatically create a new population of a middle class, a upper lower class, any of that. However they want to classify it. And that new class of melanated folk with dollars, with no allegiance to white folk, is an issue. It's an issue. So that's one reason. Because average white folk, whether you want to call them white trash, Karens, Kens, whatever you want to call it. Custies, meth heads, Aryans, you dig what I'm saying? Trumpers. They don't own nothing. Not a damn penny. Nothing. So that would put them right back where we were post-Civil War. Reconstruction phase. So they definitely don't want you to get it. Right? Now, we already we just did class last week about them denying those elders in Tulsa. Shot them down. Okay? Shot them down. Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you're really astute, researched, versed in this battle, you excuse me, you will have come across information about the late great Malcolm X and what he was organizing and engineering as far as taking our plight to the UN and gathering, some solid folks from across the waters to create this united front on a path towards true liberation, right? And he was being schooled on how to put the framework together to run into the UN. Yeah. Get rid of that civil rights, which was given, and get into a space of humanitarians. You got to understand that. So again, ignorant, unlearned, unresearched, average Joe white folk don't own a damn thing. So the idea, just the simple idea of black folk getting anything, especially monetary reparations, is out of the window. Absolutely out of the window. Okay? Yeah. So that's gone. But people in this argument, in this conversation, in these social media debates, usually always speak about, well, they gave it to this one. They gave it to those people. They gave it to these people. Never understanding at all why that took place. They don't know. They don't take the time to dig in and research. And when they do, they always make the wrong call of labeling themselves or trying to attach themselves and looking at the plight of others and not understanding our very unique circumstance here. Okay? Now, let's speak about globally what it sounds like, what reparations look like. Okay? So you can get a firm understanding of why I say it's never happening here. You ain't putting no cash in your pocket, right? Like Big Red. Try to tell him, Jimmy, I'm trying to put some money in your pocket. Yeah, that shit not happening. Okay? The concept, let's go. The concept of reparation for victims of violations of human rights or of international humanitarian law is relatively new in international law. It is part of the right to a remedy as recognized under international law for victims of serious violations of international humanitarian law and human rights. And of course, they give you the numbers and articles and all that, right? Indeed, victims' right to reparations is a non-derogable, derogable, and a fundamental principle of international law which can be enforced either at the international or national levels. Now, you're asking Europeans, you're asking Anglo-Saxons in this space here to condemn themselves completely and totally as if they have never done before, ever. Okay? Let's see exactly how these other people receive reparations. And rarely, if ever, has it come from Europeans. Has it come from the old faith? Okay? There are several systems of international law relating to the concept of reparation for the harm suffered by the victims of grave violations of human rights and international human law. The following forms of reparation exist: restitution, compensation, rehabilitation, satisfaction, and guarantees of non-repetition. Just in that alone, we don't even have to go any further, because you should be able to see in your mind that white folk here, the red, white, and blue here, sons and daughters of the Confederacy here, sons and daughters of the false democracy here, don't have it in their DNA to even view you in a space to where they believe in compensation, rehabilitating themselves, excuse me, satisfaction, and guarantees of non-repetition. Because, as you know, they make movies like Roots and Gone with the Wind, where they believe that they were 1,000% correct in how they conducted themselves. Remember, they allowed you to build a country for them and put it in their law books that it was just. Yeah. Never apologetic for it. They believe in scripture that you were cursed and thus should be their lapdogs. It's in their books and how they restructured the Bible. Under any different level or sect of Christianity or Catholicism, your ass is viewed as evil. And that they were entitled to your labor, to your grippers. Yeah, they felt entitled and you were doing them a favor. Oh, so let's get that funky shit up out of your brain. We're going to get rid of the fog. Okay? If Tulsa, if them elders 109 and 110 years old still hanging on, sitting around, in order to be told, hell no, there will be no recovery in that effort. If that didn't tell you and clear your mind up, now we're going to do it right here. Yeah. Okay? So that's what forms of reparation exist in international law. We're not talking about just here in this corporation that they don't even own. So they may not even be legally able to give you reparation because they may not have the authority to do it. Right? Remember, this poor part of the planet existed. They came and took it. That's a fact. Occupied it. Committed genocide. Acts of treason. False contracts. Yeah. Again, like I said, who gave them the authority? Who? It's a little bit too deep already, huh, Bliz? Nah! Because I'm tired of the conversation. Because what it does, it puts a sense of defeatism in people. And then people begin to bow down and continuously shrug their shoulders and say, can't beat them, join them. I might as well be comfortable in my oppression because this is how it is and this is what it always will be. But you always got some pseudo-smart folk. Some overly intellectual folk. Some sleepwalking woke folk that's going to keep telling you some shit about these folks here and what they have to do. Let's continue. They are either based on individual or on a collective and comprehensive approach. As a matter of law, the individual right to a remedy and compensation is primarily a matter for national jurisdictions. In some exceptional situations of widespread human rights violations, states have also established specific reparations programs. This has been the case in the past with German reparations to Bagelmeisters after World War II and German compensation to forced enslaved laborers during the same war. The South African government has also established a reparations program been set up for victims of apartheid following the National Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Now, nobody here wants the truth of the atrocities on American soil to be unearthed because it's still going on. Remember, they don't even want the curriculum in the schools. On a high level, you got governors that shot it down. Basic truth. So how can you go to a body when you don't have all of the required documents, okay? And people not even acknowledging the truth. In South Africa, they had to acknowledge it. The white folk had to acknowledge it. Yeah. You got your vice president saying, black people? I'm not doing anything only for black people. And every other melanated person that swears to take an oath to abide by the Constitution of the United States as a senator, a representative, a mayor, law enforcement, military personnel swore to uphold that flag in the Constitution, not to uphold truth. So how can you petition for cash reparation? I'm telling you, you're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. Yeah. So stop throwing these arguments out. They gave it to this one. They gave it to that one without knowing and understanding why. Without taking time to look, to research, to comprehend, to conceptualize. Which brings me to my next top reason. There's still no framework for who qualifies to receive cash reparations. Okay, so that's two. One, average white folk don't own anything. Giving cash to black folk would automatically create a new population of the middle class that has no allegiance to white folk. Next reason, there's still no set framework for who qualifies to receive cash reparations. You can't even sit down and say who is who and what is what. You understand that? Let's continue. The process has inspired other countries to deal with the consequences of mass crimes through different kinds of non-judicial truths. Yeah, that's how they was getting it, okay? Let's continue. Okay? Let's continue. My other reason, no one has come up with a tentative, reasonable amount for each person or family. No one. No one. As we speak in this class on a regular basis, what is the value? What is the value of life lost? What is the value of opportunity destroyed? What is the value of a dream deferred? And all the little eloquent things, sayings, creatives, motivations that we have lived through. I always tell you, one melanated life is priceless. One melanated life is priceless. We lost millions. Language disrupted, culture abolished. Do you understand? None. We had nothing. Okay? Let's move on. I told you, one life is priceless. It is part of our scientific and mathematical, right, value to the universe. Just one. Just one. How do you repay that? What is the number? What is the number? Don't have any, right? I know, it's difficult. Yeah. Can't think of it. Can you? Neither can they. So if you don't have a number, how you sit down at the table? How do you negotiate? Really? Right. Okay. Let's move on. International guiding principles on reparations to victims. International. That means this is global. Okay? This is not something I'm pulling out of thin air. This is global. Agreed upon around the world. By backgrounds, other countries, you dig? Everything. Bodies, collectives, international guiding principles on reparations to victims. In 2001, the International Law Commission adopted 59 draft articles on the responsibility of states for internationally wrongful acts. These ILC articles are considered a key reference in international law and have been widely cited and applied in state practice and by international courts, and tribunals. And out of the 59 that was drafted, nothing for here. For ADOS or for FBAs or for MORs or for whatever you want to be titled here. Whatever you call yourself here on the poor part of the planet in this corporation right here. Out of 59 drafts, not one. Okay? Have you ever heard of? Not one did somebody sit on social media and say that this is what we need to be getting behind? Because this is how we get our reparations, because this is how the world is going to recognize what happened to us, what's happening to us now, and what's going to happen to us later on. Not one. Not a congressman, not a mayor, not a senator, none. Not a public advocate, not a DA, not one. None of them have come to your hood and said anything about this international draft. Not one. And that was in 2001 when everybody was distracted by 9/11. Okay, excuse me. In 2005, the UN Commission on Human Rights adopted the basic principles and guidelines on the right to a remedy and reparation for victims of gross violations of international human rights law and serious violations of international humanitarian law. Like somebody getting choked out on the street, in public, on camera. That ain't viewed as a violation of human law and rights as it pertains to us. I don't see none of that, right? Okay, let's go. These were reaffirmed by the UNGA, okay? UN Commission on Human Rights and Guidelines, right, in 2006. These principles emphasize the specific obligation of each state to provide adequate remedies to victims of violations, which are often committed by its own agents. The fact that human rights violations are often perpetrated by state agents makes them more difficult to sanction and increases the vulnerability of victims. So every time you see a viral lynching and you see this old Ben Crump nigga sitting with the family talking about we want peace and we want justice and justice, and they get compensation that undermines the collective. So I want you to know that when them people take their check, they absolve themselves of any collective responsibility to us as a whole, because they got their reparation for the atrocity. Okay? They got theirs. So they going in the win. Their loved one's life was, stamped with a value. We'll take $2 million. All right? Listen. This is where we at with it. So you know. So you have an awareness. Okay? So again, without a collective in agreement, you can't go to these people. So while you were sitting there wondering why, while you were in the 6th grade, while you were in middle school, while you were in high school in government class, and you saying, man, the world don't know what's going on with us. The UN is going over here, they going over there, and all these disturbances you watching on the news, you see UNICEF and all this other weirdness, and yo, what about us right here in the hood? They don't know about what's going on? No! They don't care. They don't care. Why? There's a labeling going on. There's an acknowledgement of them owning you and you not being hip enough to understand that the smallest, the most tiniest moves that you make, say that you are in agreement with them. Standing up at the games, national anthems, signing up for the draft, going into the service, going on job applications, marking Black American, African American, driver's license, acknowledging, who are you? Yeah, I'm such and such. Who are you? I'm such and such. Who are you? I'm such and such. How do you represent? I represent. Who? All these little nasty check marks. Oh, when you tax return, birth certificates for your children, all of that. Little tiny shit that you just do effortlessly says that you are in agreement. You are in agreement with whatever status they have put you under. So reparations for what? We're supposed to have done that to you. You agreed with it. You got yours. You asked for civil rights. We gave it to you. You asked to be included in the workforce. We gave it. You asked for the right to vote. We gave it to you. You know what's up. Let's continue. The fact that human rights violations are often perpetrated by state agents makes them more difficult to sanction and increases the vulnerability of victims. The UN principles insist on the need to include in national legislation appropriate provisions on the prohibition and punishment of violations committed by state agents, the training of personnel with security and judicial functions, the access to information for victims, the protection of victims from reprisals, safeguards against the recurrence of such acts, and rules and procedures allowing for reparation of harm suffered. You get all that all day. No safeguards. Malcolm was going to the UN, pushed him. Dr. Khalid Muhammad was pushing for self-governance, pushed him. Mind you, they were not able or would never be able to push our leaders if other melanated folks didn't work hand in hand in their demise. And that's a fact. That's with anywhere around the globe. You think Muammar Gaddafi would have been able to do what he was doing without the protection of his people? And when his people turned on him, he was out of here. Y'all don't know what happened to Patrice Lumumba? Mobutu gave him up. Pushed him. They cannot do it without the help of other melanated folk. Niggas. And they know how to build them because they build them every day. It's a mental conditioning. Like the trolls that come in the chat. That's niggas in there. That ain't white folk. Yeah. Those who continue to always sit and ride and come and get lessons and never ever share, contribute, or do anything. Yeah, that's a conditioning. Of I'm supposed to be here. He's supposed to be giving me these jewels because that's what he's supposed to do. I'm not supposed to do anything in return. That's niggas. Yeah. So how can you go to an international board, tribunals and all that, and demand that these OFAs give reparations when you all disorganized? It won't happen. That's why I said it will never happen. Ever happen. Okay? Reasons. Let's go through so y'all can get your little TikToks up. Okay? Black folk will never get cash reparations here. Average white folk don't own anything. Giving cash to black folk would automatically create a new population of the middle class that has no allegiance to white folk. 2, there's still no set framework for who qualifies to receive cash reparations. Next, no one has come up with a tentative reasonable amount for each person or family that would satisfy white folk. You understand that? Yeah. And if you did, white folks see how you spend money. They see you. You don't understand that? Because you got chicken bosses and bad bitches. Yeah. And white folk look at that and say, they doing mighty fine. No, why they don't get them reparations? No. Chicken bosses, hip-hop moguls, bad bitches, they got enough. They see it. So that's another reason. Balling out. White folk will never agree to giving black people, melanated people, cash reparations because they see you balling out. And they know most black folk, when spending on luxury items, 90% of the time purchased from European brands that white folk here don't own. They don't have investments in. So when they see and they say, woo, black folk want to get a Lexus. Black folk want to get Ferraris. Black folk want to get all this stuff. Louis bags, Fendi bags, Gucci sneakers. What? White folk, man, would never vote to give them that. Black folks ball out with luxury European brands. Yeah. Another reason, they believe that you just don't deserve it. Just that simple. They believe that you just don't deserve it. They believe that they are right in slavery. You question that? Do you question that? White folk still believe that they have the God-given right to enslave black folk today. Huh? You question that? Do you question that? Reparations for who? We don't owe nobody nothing. Do you understand that? Let's get busy. Charleston, West Virginia. Yeah, I remember running around the Dunbar, Washington Manor. Randy Moss was a little kid, Jason Williams too, and these black-ass boys from East New York was out there running around in Charleston, West Virginia. Oh yeah. Know the spot well. Charleston, West Virginia. A Sissonville couple accused of allegedly locking children up in a barn and forcing them to work are back behind bars on a bond that's more than double what they had already been given, now set at $500,000 each. Donald Ray Lance, 63, and Janine K. Whitefeather, 62, appeared in Kanawha County Court Tuesday, pleading not guilty to over a dozen new charges against them, including human, gridlock of a minor child, use of a minor child in forced labor, and child neglect, creating substantial risk of serious bodily injury or demise. Now, 2024, the month of June, Kanawha County Circuit Judge said she believes the couple's previous bond of $200,000 was not enough, along with human, what do we call that? Midtown rush hour stuff and neglect was serious, excuse me, serious risk of bodily injuries or death. I don't find the bond to be sufficient. Lance and Whitefeather were first arrested last October after a wellness check led to the discovery of 2 of the couple's 5 adopted children living in deplorable conditions, locked in a shed on the Sissonville property on Cheyenne Lane. Okay? The indictment also alleges human rights violations, alleging the adopted children who were black were specifically targeted by the couple and forced to work because of their race. Said it's an indictment she's never seen before during her time as a judge. It alleges human midtown gridlock, human rights violations, the use of forced labor, human rights violations specific to the fact that these children were targeted because of their race and they were used basically as slaves, from what the indictment alleges. This comes after concerns from Kanawha County prosecutors that their original cash bonds were obtained through profits after the couple was able to acquire the $400,000 bond money for their release from jail in February. Little black slaves, children. White folk believing that they have the right to force black people, melanated people, Moors, whatever you want to call yourselves, FBA, ADOS, into servitude. I'm just saying. This ain't 1865. This ain't 1908. This isn't 1941. This isn't 1957. This isn't 1963. This isn't 1975. This is 2024. I don't hear y'all. I don't hear y'all. Y'all gonna get reparations from who? From who? Cash reparations from who? Let's go back to international law. I really, really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. You see? Because this is where the higher level thinking is. Yeah. Higher level. Yeah. This ain't off the cuff. This is not emotionally charged. It's actual facts of them telling you that you ain't shit. And we damn sure ain't giving you nothing because you were supposed to be treated like that. Okay? Let's continue so we can get down to the get down. Yeah, because it gets deep. Now, international law. Compensation should be provided for any economically measurable damage as appropriate and proportionate to the gravity of the violation and the circumstances of each case. These principles also encourage states to develop means of information, the general public, and, in particular, victims of gross violations of international human rights and serious violations of international human rights of the services to which they may have a right of access, legal, medical, psychological, social, administrative services, etc. So all of that would be in play initially before cash. The cash is the last thing that they're going to ever come up off of. Okay? I just want you to understand that. This is what they believe, putting systems in place. And the first thing this country is going to say is, we gave them systems. We established a welfare system. We have social services for those who are incompetent, those who are proven not to be able to learn. We have services up and down. We have the largest social services in the world. These people have been on welfare since 1940. We have projects. We've given them low-income housing. Yeah. Yeah, you see how fickle and how nasty it get? Yeah. Hold on. In the light of international instruments in practice, it can be said that the principles of reparation for victims of violations of international human law and human rights are still linked to the responsibility of the state. Excuse me. Which includes the obligation to compensate another state for wrongful international conduct. How are you in an alignment with another international? When I'm saying, when they say states, they're talking about governing bodies. They don't mean New York and Georgia and no. On the international level, the state. Okay? Especially when you got people that saying, we ain't part of none of them. No. We not part of them Africans over here. We not part of that. We foundational. We here. Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you see? I'm just want to show you how people believe they so smart and they not. Or how they move as agents, probably purposefully, to cause disruption. Listen. This is what it is, right? While international law recognizes that these principles apply between states, it considers that they do not create an individual right to reparation against third states. Individual proceedings can only be brought by national courts for harm caused to individuals by their own national authorities. This was confirmed by an ICJ ruling in 2012 in a dispute between Germany and Italy over compensation for victims of Nazism. The ICJ reiterated that it could not establish the existence in international law of an individual right to compensation directly enforceable against third states by victims of violations. So, in our mix, we don't even come across as that. So we're not blaming no third party. We're not saying England and London, because here in this country, this is the bastardized offspring of the UK. So we can't blame the UK. You get what I'm saying? Can't blame the UK for what these people did here internationally. And if Now, mind you, if you're going up against this state, this governance, you have to agree on first being an American. Because if you're not, then who are you? And then what harm was done to you? Where's your legacy of pain and suffering if you are not an American? If you are not a Black American, if you're not a Negro, a colored person who suffered under the whips and chains, if you are not that, if you are more, if you are FBA, if you are any of these little wow acronyms, how can you claim? Oh, whoa. Nah, don't hurt their heart, Bliz. Don't do it like that. You're making too much sense. Yeah. People don't understand what the hell they say. They just talk it. They just talk it and get you all riled up. Yeah, people always get riled up when it comes to money. When we got slavery right now, right here, white folk believe in that. That's where we at with it. That's where we at with it. But no, we got to continue. Because again, top reasons, let's go. Get your little editing on. Top reasons Blacks will never receive cash reparations from white folk. 1, average white folk don't own anything. They don't want you to have nothing at all. And every day is becoming more and more and more dire straits on ordinary white folk. The 1% got it all. Yeah. So they don't want to see 1% give you nothing. That's an absolute fact. Again, average white folk don't own anything. Giving cash to Black folk would automatically create a new population of the middle class that has no allegiance to poor white folk. 2, there is still no set framework for who qualifies to receive cash reparations. None. Next, no one has come up with a tentative, reasonable amount for each person or family that white folk would tolerate. Okay, let's go on. Balling out. Most Black folks, when spending on luxury items, 90% of the time purchased from European brands. So that reparation money is going right to Europe or wherever the hell it may go. Not brands born, bred, made in America. Black folk ain't getting reparations and wearing Procades or Wranglers or Lees. Nah, man. They going straight to Gucci, straight to Louis, straight to Fendi, Hugo Boss, or anything else. Balenciaga and all that other weird European. They know that. They watch you every day. Yeah. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Salute. Cosmo Shield. Much appreciated for the super chat. Although I don't fully agree with your premise, your research is impressive. Though I respect the clear hard work, yeah, you've done. Oh, yeah. You know, and most of my research is from past. I've read so many books. I've been in prison studying international law. I've felt the sting of their chains and leg irons many a times. I know white folk ain't giving you nothing. So appreciate it. I much appreciate that. Yeah. I'm just saying. I know what it is. I'm not delusional about anything when it comes to our enemy, our oppressor. And y'all may think I'm tripping. Y'all may think I'm bugging here. But you know what's a main reason that I know and see living in New York City why they ain't giving you no cash reparations? Black folks own too many dogs. I've never seen so many black folk owning dogs in my life. 62% of all Americans own a pet. 34% of those people are black people. And they own dogs. Average price on the low end is $75 a month to feed one dog, one pet. You want white folk ain't giving you no reparations so you can run around with no damn dogs. Little teapot dogs, little Shih Tzu, Shih Tzus and all that. You think that? You think that? That they see you on the projects? 6 out of 10 black people walking some little funky dog and you think they gonna give you reparations? Let's continue. Got me hot. I don't know what happened to the damn AC. Let's continue. For example, in this 2005 judgment on the DRC case, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, okay? The ICJ found the Republic of Uganda responsible for breaching its international obligations toward the DRC in a number of different ways. The court ruled that in respect to these or of these violations, Uganda was under an obligation to make reparations to the Democratic Republic of Congo for the injury and damage caused to it. In the same 2005 judgment, the court further ruled that in the absence of an agreement between the parties, the question of the reparations due would be determined by the court in a subsequent proceeding. You want to look it up? Democratic Republic of Congo versus Uganda, judgment 2005. Okay? In the subsequent reparation judgment in this case delivered in 2022, the court acknowledged the failure of the negotiation process and ordered Uganda to pay the Democratic Republic of Congo $325 million in reparations for damages caused by its unlawful military activities and occupation of the Democratic Republic of Congo's territory. What territory do you have? I'll wait. What community do you have as a melanated person or people here, right here, in the good old United States of America? What territory do you have? Do you own a block? Do you own a town? Do you own a community, a state? Nothing. So when they coming in here and they lynching and they doing George Floyd's and Eric Garner's, yeah, and Mike Brown's and Tamir Rice's, they're not occupying. This they shit. So any atrocities that happen, they say that they have the authority to do it. And the law sits behind it. So what are you going to the table with? This is why these other nations y'all point to get reparations. Because they have land that they own, that they govern, that they use, that they function as an independent entity. You don't own shit. Let's continue. This amount included $225 million US in compensation for damage to persons, $40 million US for damage to property, and $60 million US for damage to natural resources. In its ruling on reparations, the ICJ also reiterated its view that the amount of reparations owed by a state must be within its financial capacity. Every time the U.S. is in debt, can't get a budget passed and all this other shit, I can't pay y'all niggas nothing, man. We ain't got it. You understand? We ain't got it. Among numerous other things. So keep playing. Keep begging. Keep putting hope and faith in white folk that are today enslaving little black kids. Keep thinking that. Don't point at somebody else when you don't know their circumstances. Oh, they got it. They got it. They got it. Let's continue, because, people get caught up in their emotions, in their chest when the truth hurts. Don't get emotional with this shit. Be soldiers. Get militant and understand it. This way, you know how to attack it. Understand your positioning. Don't just pull out shit out of air and listen to dudes on social media like they know what they talking about when they don't. Let's continue. This process has inspired other countries to deal with the consequences of mass crimes through different kinds of non-judicial truth and reconciliation projects. For example, Argentina established a special reparations program for victims of human rights violations committed by the military dictatorship between 1975 and 1983, based on the recommendation of its National Commission on the Disappearance of Persons. Reparation policies for human rights violations have also been adopted by countries such as Chile, Brazil, Malawi, and others. They provide an alternative to judicial proceedings, but raise many issues of due process and fairness. Where's your country? Where's your country? Melanated folk. Where do you stand on the square? Where are you governing yourself? Where are you reliant on yourself? Where is your country? I'm waiting. Okay, that's what I thought. Let's go. To fill the growing gap in reparations for victims of international crimes, because that's what you're saying, that is an international crime, right? Transatlantic slave trade and chattel slavery was a crime against humanity. Against our humanity, right? But you got people who saying that y'all not together. I don't mess with the Caribbeans enough. No. We're here. Okay, we started. So that means, what was your country's name before Columbus? Because they came before Columbus. We could vouch for that, right? Because this is what y'all saying, that y'all foundational to this. So what was the name of the country? What was the violations? What did you lose? What was your connection? Where was you going as a nation? That these Europeans came over, this Italian man brought over, said, yo, hey, over there, let's go. Yeah, we could take that. How do you stand when you're not standing united? You're not standing united. You letting people on social media separate you. Huh? Yeah. Uh-huh. See how ignorant it sounds? All these other people, countries, together, they move. Yeah, together. So when they say they want reparations, they go right back to, yo, this is what we were doing. This is who we are. This was us until they came and violated. Who are you? Who were you? Because we got chicken bosses and bad bitches running around. And they take that oath. We got good, hard-working politicians that take that oath. We got law enforcement that'll pop your wig at any slight un-American move that you do. Go too fast in an area with a speed limit. Pass the stop sign. Don't know that your taillight is busted. That's cause for getting your cap peeled. Yeah. Have a moment. Have a moment of a mental health crisis in a public area. And get tased until your heart stops. That's just what it is here. Because you have no united front. Because you're not responsible for or to each other. I'm just giving it to you straight up. You can let other people bullshit you online. Okay? Not here. Let's continue. International compensation funds for victims have been created by the United Nations system and by the International Criminal Court. Their activities are governed by international guidelines, guiding principles on reparations to victims. Victims' reparations are also implemented by regional human rights courts. The jurisprudence of the ICC and the International Court of Justice helps to clarify the interpretation and implementation of various principles of reparations to victims. So far, in 2024, they have struck down one of probably the most solid cases with witnesses who gave testimony to the atrocities of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. The lynchings, the murders, the hunts, the burning downs of the towns, the total displacement. And the court said, we can't get it to you. There will be no relief in this matter. We don't have the jurisdiction to do that. Black folk. So you're going to keep begging for it instead of what we teach in class today And every day, nah, man. Ain't no begging white folk to do nothing. Okay? So let's go over again. Make sure you get your nice edits too. Yeah, when y'all do your little TikToks and stuff. I got a lot of people in class and I always salute them and appreciate for them. They be making their little artwork and edits and doing their thing. Yeah, because they need to hear and understand this. That you're not getting shit. Plain and simple. Just like when I come on and I don't get shit, no funding, no more effort, no shares, no nothing. It's understood. It's understood. Because I do have full comprehension of nobody wants no melanated man to galvanize his people in a proper way. Even his own people. Because it hurts to acknowledge that truth. That damn. Really, yeah, what am I doing? What am I thinking about? Yeah, that's traumatic. I understand it. So now y'all might need to understand it. The way I don't get shit, what you think the cracker gonna do to you? Well, there go my monetization. Anyway, let's continue. Top reasons blacks will never receive cash reparations. Average white folk don't own anything. Giving cash to black folk would automatically create a new population of the middle class that has no allegiance to white folk, no patriotism whatsoever. Got that? Yeah. Reason 2, there's still no set framework for who qualifies to receive cash reparations. No one has come up with a tentative, reasonable amount for each person or family that satisfies white folk. Yeah. Balling out. Okay? Balling out. Another reason why black folk will never receive cash reparations. Most blacks, when spending on luxury items, 90% of the time purchase from European brands. And my last reason, black folk own too many dogs. 34% of black people own dogs. The average price of feeding these dogs, $75 to $100 a month. White folk ain't trying to help you run around the town with these teacup dogs, Shih Tzu, Shao Peis, little bulldogs, and all this other bullshit that y'all running around with. They believe that that's your reparations right there. And you can pay for dog food, you damn sure don't need to be getting no money from the government. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. All right? You know your reasons. Now, among other reasons, I could definitely have gone much deeper. Definitely. But again, I like to keep it nice and balanced and clear. Clear. All right? So whether you agree or not, there's always room for dialogue, for discussion. Well, what I don't do here, I don't do false hope. I'm building militancy, strength, self-reliance. Exactly. People ain't even eating right, but got dogs. giving them organic food and all that. But you in a project. You in a project with a dog. I want y'all to just understand what you show people. This is what you show people. How do you manifest yourself? What's your purpose? But you going half-ass demand, half-ass question. Reparations. Yeah, okay. Okay. And as always, classroom assistants, much appreciation for holding it down. As always, make sure you come back to class with 10 fingers and 10 toes, ready to educate and be educated. Okay? Yeah. 55 gang, I see y'all. I see y'all. And to everybody who funded the war effort, some who are consistently funding the war effort, we salute you. Yeah, we salute you. But hold on, 55 gang, get y'all grades up.